In Part 9, we introduced the fourth stage of the divine pattern in 2 Thessalonians, which is the man of lawlessness being brought to an end by the appearance or manifestation of his coming or presence. If this pattern is true, then the fourth and final stage aligns with the seventh church, prophecy, trumpet, and bowl. Based on Paul's dissertation in 2 Thessalonians, it would also be the day of the Lord. Tradition has long taught that the day of the Lord is the second coming or return of Jesus Christ, an event that millions call the rapture, which is a removal of the saints before the advent of great tribulation. Yet based on the prophecies of both the Old and New Testaments, nothing could be further from the truth. As we learned in the last video study, the day of the Lord is not a day or hour that can be marked on a calendar. Neither is it a 12 or 24-hour segment of time. Hebrews 3:8 confirms this, calling Israel's 40 years in the wilderness the day of temptation or trial. In agreement with this perspective, Peter tells us that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. In other words, in the realm of spirit, a day is more about light and the government of God's kingdom, and may incorporate any amount of time which God desires. No wonder the psalmist wrote, "For 1,000 years in your sight are like yesterday when it is past, and like a watch in the night." In Isaiah 2:12, we are told that the day of the Lord shall come upon everything proud and lofty and everything lifted up. In Isaiah 13:6 and Joel 1:15, we're told that it comes as destruction from the Almighty. In Isaiah 13:9, we're told that it comes cruel, with both wrath and fierce anger. In Jeremiah 46:10, the day of the Lord is called the day of vengeance. In Ezekiel 33, we're told it will be a day of clouds, the time of the Gentiles. In Joel 2:11, we're told that the day of the Lord is great and very terrible. Who can endure it? In agreement with the Old Testament prophets, Paul said this about the day of the Lord. "But concerning the times and the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I should write to you. For you yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so comes as a thief in the night. For when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them, as labor pains upon a pregnant woman, and they shall not escape." In agreement with Paul, Peter wrote the following, which is quite significant and illustrates the purpose for this day. "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens will pass away with a great noise, and the elements will melt with fervent heat. Both the earth and the works that are in it will be burned up." Note that there are four things regarding the day of the Lord. The day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. The heavens will pass away with a great noise. The elements will melt with fervent heat. The earth and the works that are in it will be burned up. When we put aside the idea that any of this is literal, we find that it correlates with our overall perspective as outlined in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. First, this day comes as a thief in the night. This is not a literal night any more than it is a literal day. This speaks to our darkness within, challenged by the day or light of His wisdom, mercy, and grace. And like a thief, He comes to steal and to kill and to destroy this darkness so that we might know the true light of His enduring love. The heavens will pass away with a great noise. Might this explain the following? "And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea." The first heaven and earth are not geographical locations, but speak of the first man, Adam, and its corresponding mind and spirit, synonymous with the man of lawlessness. The new heaven and earth speak of the last Adam, Christ, who, as a life-giving spirit, is bringing us into a new way of being. The elements will melt with fervent heat. The Greek word for elements is rendered principles in Hebrews 5:12. Strong's defines it as something orderly in arrangement. Elements refer to all of the religious accoutrements and their corresponding actions, which always crumble in the light of the true wisdom and knowledge of God. Is this not described in the following? For no other foundation can anyone lay than that which is laid, which is Jesus Christ. Now, if anyone builds on this foundation with gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, straw, each one's work will become clear, for the day will declare it, because it will be revealed by fire, and the fire will test each one's work of what sort it is. The earth and the works that are in it will be burned up. Here, the earth and its works denote the natural and carnal thoughts and deeds of our old man, the man of lawlessness. These works or deeds are symbolized by what Paul described as wood, hay, and straw in the preceding passages, for all three are easily consumed by fire. 1. The heavens will pass away with a great noise. 2. The elements will melt with fervent heat. And 3. The earth and the works that are in it will be burned up. 3 is the number of a complete witness. So embodied in these 3 statements is the divine purpose of God in the day of the Lord. These 3 components sum up the work of God in Christ in us, and a glorious work it is. It should be evident by all that we have considered that the day of the Lord incorporates and reflects a necessary time of judgment for His people first, and then the world. It is not a literal day, but an indefinite period of time known only by our Father, and it will last until His purpose is accomplished. We have not yet considered the 7th trumpet and its correlation with the day of the Lord. So in our next video study, we'll look further into this.